So anyway, Tony, like we were speaking, you know, oh my God, look who it is.
Nick. What's up, Nick?
What's up?
Good.
Came in with Brandon, with your son. It's all good.
Hey, man.
We're hanging out. Nick Baby Love and Pretty Tony.
Nick promoted the first record. He promoted just about every record in the 80s back then. He was, you know, he didn't have no, but Nick is a man. He promoted every record.
I mean, and just using a quote, I mean, one thing that's on my mind now, without going into it, I mean, I remember when you had it on a piece of paper and there was stuff you taught me like the analog and all those tricks, and you'd have tape hidden from the chandeliers and you'd have it on napkins. And of course I was just promoted, and then, you know, what was the 808? There wasn't even really a drum machine when you started, and it was like this whole education process, because I know that not only did you start bass music when I brought Luke, I actually brought David Hobbs and Chris Wong, yeah. Fresh Kid Ice. Yeah. He's got like 3 names from California, yeah. And they had that record and went through all that. And then obviously I was fortunate to go through the whole Bambana thing, which is in a documentary, you know what I mean? He's a good friend of both of ours. And then in trying to use a statement, in the year of our Lord, 1982, you know, we fought like warrior poets.
Yep.
We fought like brothers.
Nick wouldn't listen, and I don't know what I was talking about, so it kind of made sense, you know. But I was learning as I went along, but I kind of learned faster than Nick. But
I mean, you know, I mean, it's, you know, let's just speak the truth here. The bottom line is, so I mean, how do you put in words between the publishing and being out of the business? I mean, that's a story, because this is also about educating all the yos, all the new school people, that you didn't have all that, and you literally did have the tape hanging, and you'd had a splice. You were forced to be an engineer, chief cook and bottle washer. I mean, auto-tune. What, are you kidding me? I mean, how people would survive there. So, and just the most important statement to me, you know, I'm curious the way you feel, because the public has to see that, forget the music business, we're true friends like I am with Bam.
Yeah.
With Bam on a personal, because you weren't in the business for 5 years,
right.
And we could talk about Bo, I don't know what a royalty is, Crane. I can say that, you follow me? And I know that, you know, hey, I was going to federal court, and who was number 1 on the witness list?
You number 1 now.
Okay, so I'm just acquainted to, we've lasted through 2 millenniums, and that was the paradox that you came up with and Bambada did, saying, you know, Nick, he's stereo screaming, never starts talking. You just used the word convoluted. Yeah. But the public is gonna know that you invented freestyle, even though you didn't know you invented it.
See, this story really never been told, because I mean,
well, let's tell it.
You know, the thing is this: that's why I like Pretty Ricky, because see, I was their age when I started.
Can I just say one thing? Because that's what I want you to elaborate on. The father, Joe Smith here. I came in tonight.
Blue.
Okay, Blue. Okay, but Anthony Butler, okay, who has the most beautiful family and whatnot. This is about the business. I usually go in, and everybody doesn't understand, when you go in with a record the way we were taught, because he invented something, he didn't know what he was inventing, he just knew good music, he went by his gut, he wrote it on paper and whatnot. But I walked in here tonight, because I've had my experiences with Pleasure P and whatnot, and like I called out Bo Crane, I'll call out Pleasure P and everybody else. Well, I come in tonight, I meet my man over here, Big D, okay, I know I'm goofing that all up. We had Kevin Black call while we were here, we had different advertisers that want to sponsor the group. And the one thing I got from it, what I want you to elaborate on going into the next phase of the conversation, is what's missing is, and I know that Jerry Russian, how big he is, he's on my Facebook today, you know, just going back to that whole thing of being convoluted and whatnot. But these 3 men tonight, whether Blue, the father, said something. They went in and started rhyming some stuff that I was involved with, a sponsor we don't have to even mention right now until he gives us a check. Because what did you teach me? What's the big thing you always scream at me for? Get paid?
Yeah, I scream at you for a lot of things, but getting paid for them. Yeah.
And so I wish the kids today could know how this started. This is the history of the music. Bombada's considered the godfather of hip-hop.
Yeah.
That's a fact. Yeah. You invented bass music. You are, without a doubt, the inventor of freestyle, whether to DKA and all the other groups that are out there. But when you have an environment like here in South Florida, which this is one of the top studios in the world. Ross Alexander designed it. You got Pro Tools, this trick with the analog, all the stuff, G-Series, SSL board, that you teach me. So when I go on the radio, it's not like you taught me, like you go and say, my record's #1. You just present it.
Right. Okay, hold on. Let me
but so anyway, the kids are gentlemen.
You're doing what you did in the 80s. Let me just, hold on a second.
But the kids are gentlemen, and you don't find that today.
Right, exactly. And the thing is this. All the songs, I wrote all the songs back in the 80s, right? I knew enough about the business to know it was a business. And that's why I own both sides of everything, you know, to this day. So what I want to do now, I want to do it so like we did it back then. I know what the people like, I think. I have an idea about what they like. We're going to do some records, and if they get a chance to hear them, it's going to change a lot of things because they don't have the opportunity now to hear a lot of the stuff that's out there, or the stuff that's being created. So what I did was I put a room together, this room here, from scratch. So like I did the first time, I built the studio, wrote the songs, found the artists, engineered the record, mixed the records, set up the mom and pop, set up the distribution, set up the accounts receivable, set up the payables, had 14 people working. I was 24 years old. So I was always about business, but the getting paid part is kind of, you know, and then you got lawyers, 8 lawyers, and so I mean it's a whole thing. So they don't see that part, you know. They see the people on stage and whatnot. You know?
Well, I mean that's part of the thing. Like Bambaataa, yourself, MC Hammer, Jerry Russian, Scotty Andrews, God rest his soul, Elroy Smith today, some of the biggest people in the world, Miller London, Sidney Miller. All say what they like about Salerno. He may be convoluted, but he's generic enough, or he keeps his mouth shut, because that is a problem. That goes back to 1932. You can tell them who started me, Jack the Rapper.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm Jack the Rapper's guy. I didn't want to use the word boy, but I really was his boy. I mean, he is the first person to go on the radio in 1932. You could tell about Jack the Rapper and how they broke all your stuff and that craziness.
Jack the Rapper's kind of like how they have now. They have a lot of different things like record pools. But they don't have record pools anymore. They have street teams and the DJs. You know. But I mean, if the people hear the record, they don't really need all that stuff. If you let the people hear the records, if it's a good record, they're gonna let you know they like it. You know. So that's what it is. So I'm doing the same thing I did back then. All the music came back. Black Eyed Peas have remade, I think, 4 of my songs. We just did 3-6 Mafia. We did Flow Rider, In the Air.
Sean Kingston, but you...
Yeah, you know, so it's back, and I'm back. You know what I mean? I left when the music left, because I don't do country. I don't do all the different kind of music. So when my type of music came back, I'm back. You know, it's a blessing to be able to come back, you know, second time around. So I'm going to do it just like I did last time. They seem to like it, and I can do it all over again.